Warren Buffett, like George Soros, is one of the oligarchs in this country, like you would see in Eastern Europe. And what many people don't understand is now up on the website, is that Obama's decision to kill the Keystone XL pipeline wasn't just him capitulating to the environmentalist movement and the left in his party. No, my friends. As Dr. Savage rightly says, follow the money. You want to know where the truth is? You want to know where the power and the corruption is? Follow the money. Now, just think about this. Here you have a pipeline that is going to come from the tar sands of Alberta, from Canada, our closest ally, our closest friend, reliable oil. There's millions and millions and millions of barrels of that stuff up in Alberta. They're going to build a pipeline all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. We build pipelines in this country. It's not a problem. In fact, we already have pipelines, both above ground and underground, that work perfectly well. This pipeline would create 20,000 immediate construction jobs, shovel-ready jobs, as the president likes to say, unlike his stimulus, where we haven't seen one shovel-ready job. 100,000 indirect jobs, welders, engineers, people who create the equipment. This thing would be an economic boon to the economy. And yet, recklessly, almost treasonously, he just turns it off. No. Now you have to ask yourself, in an election year where the high unemployment, the horrible economy is going to be a big issue. In fact, it's an albatross around his neck. It's a millstone around the president's neck. If a Republican beats him, it will be because of the poor state of the economy. You think he would sign this thing on the dotted line right away. Not so simple. Go to michaelsavage.com. You know who doesn't want this XL pipeline built? Warren Buffett. Because if you go to North Dakota, people don't know this. North Dakota is becoming the new Texas. They have a massive amount of oil and natural gas, and they're producing it from the ground. But instead of delivering it through a pipeline, one of the ways they deliver it is by old-fashioned railroad, through the railway. That's how they get their product all the way down to Texas where it's refined. Now, because of this boom in oil wealth, which was found, by the way, on private lands. If this was on public land, Obama would shut it down. It'd be gone. North Dakota now has 3.9% unemployment. My friends, it's booming. It's infrastructure projects. It's infrastructure jobs, oil jobs, everything. Obama keeps saying, I'm for infrastructure. I'm for infrastructure, infrastructure. An oil pipeline is infrastructure. It's billions of dollars in infrastructure. No. Why does he want the oil to go from North Dakota by railway, but not from Alberta to Texas via oil pipeline? Because 75% of North Dakota's oil goes through the railroad. And you know who owns that railroad? It is the Burlington Northern Santa Fe LLC. Burlington Northern Santa Fe LLC, which just happens to be a unit of, guess what? Warren Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway Incorporated. He owns the railroad that carries the oil from North Dakota all the way to Texas. He doesn't want the oil pipeline because it'll ship the oil, it'll transport the oil at a much cheaper cost. It'll knock his railroad out of business. That's why he doesn't want it. Like the old robber barons in the 19th century, he wants a monopoly on how the oil is shipped and distributed in America. That's why Obama killed the Keystone oil pipeline. And if the workers don't get jobs, if the American people don't get jobs, if we have to rely more on Saudi oil and Iranian oil and the oil from the Gulf sheiks, well, too bad. Too bad. That's the kind of man we have in the White House. And that's why, as a conservative nationalist, as a real principled, independent conservative like Dr. Savage, he and I have been warning the American people. The threat doesn't just come from big government. It comes from big business. It comes from corporate plutocrats, from wealthy, rich people who try to rig the system in their favor, who have bought and sold influence within both parties. And you see it clearly with this guy, Warren Buffett. So the reason why the Keystone XL oil pipeline was closed, Buffett said, I don't want the competition. Hey, no, we're going to do it through old-fashioned railroads. Even the Sierra Club, as is pointed out in the Michael Savage article, the most radical left-wing environmental organization in the country, says that shipping oil through trucks or railroads is more dangerous, more environmentally dangerous, more potentially threatening than shipping it via oil pipeline. That's the kind of hypocrites they are in the White House. This is clean, this is efficient, this is cost-effective, this will make us energy independent, this pipeline will create growth, it will create jobs, it will create wealth, it will bring millions of barrels of oil, it will lower the price of gas. It is win, win, win. But because Warren Buffett doesn't want the competition, he picked up the phone and called Obama and said, Barry, tell him no on the pipeline. Tell him no. And if you lose votes, I don't give a damn because I pay you to jump. And when I say jump, you jump. That's the kind of man we have in the White House.